Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back everybody to a brand new video with everything that you missed in MMA this week. Again guys, timestamps will be there if you'd like to skip to any part. Let's start off with the first topic. Now, this is arguably maybe one of the biggest pieces of news for the UFC because it really depends how this goes. This could literally mean pretty much nothing, or it could be a massive change. So after the weigh-ins for UFC 300, there is going to be a reveal for new equipment. A lot of people are really hoping to see new gloves, something that prevents the eye pokes, especially with what happened last card or even like the last little while in the UFC. Eye pokes have been getting absolutely horrible in the sport. So a lot of people really want to see a bunch of new gloves, but this could be just something for UFC 300, like brand new gloves are not black, they're matching the shorts. I don't know, something like that. But we don't know if this is permanent. We don't know what it's going to be, but look out for some new UFC equipment coming after the weigh-ins. Next up, a little bit of news on Tom Aspinall. He has officially had a meeting with the UFC about his next fight. So it looks like from this, of course, we don't know who the opponent is. Tom Aspinall hasn't said anything about it, but we did know that they met about Tom's next fight. So it looks like, because we still don't have Jones versus Miocic booked, I don't believe that Tom Aspinall is going to fit in there. I don't believe John Jones is going to fight Tom Aspinall, but I do believe this means we are going to be getting an interim belt defense by Tom Aspinall, who's going to be probably against Curtis Blades. I don't see anybody else really taking that spot right now. I know Cyril Gane's really getting into it, and we're going to talk about Cyril Gane in just a second because it's absolutely hilarious. But anyways, Tom Aspinall, hopefully we hear some news from him very soon. Moving on though, Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz announced that they are going to have a 4-part press tour regarding their boxing match. I don't really see, you know what, like, just because I'm, I don't want to say I'm interested, but like, just for the hell of it, I'm probably going to be tuning into one of these, just like taking a look at a highlight video or something like that. But I don't see Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal being able to entertain through 4 press conferences for their fight. Both of them are washed. Both of them don't have good trash talk. Jorge Masvidal's just going to sit there like, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to murder this individual. And Nate Diaz is going to be like, hey, what's up? What's up? I'm here to fight. You know, like, that's what it's going to be. How are you going to have a 4-part press tour with these two guys? I don't get it. I don't know, but I'm going to be looking at it just because I don't know what's going to be coming from it. Now let's talk about Cyril Gane. So Cyril Gane has been a little bit of the laughing stock of the MMA community this week because Cyril Gane has still been coming out saying that he fights anybody the UFC puts in front of him. He has never ducked anybody at all, but then fans are coming out receipts, and there's old interviews, like not even that old, just interviews with Ariel Helwani, just him saying, oh, you know, Curtis Blades doesn't make sense for me. Tom Aspinall doesn't make sense for me. He's literally talking about not wanting to fight these guys, and Cyril Gane is just straight up denying it. So I don't get what the big deal is. I don't know why Cyril Gane shouldn't just say like, oh yeah, I didn't want to fight them then, but hey, I'm here now, I want to fight. But when you're so like sitting here and just lying to the fans' faces, I don't understand why you would do that, to be honest with you. I don't get it. Cyril Gane has been probably the biggest joke this week, and I'm a fan of Cyril Gane. I like the dude, but I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing right now. Now, guys, I want to move into this next session called Potential Fights. These are fights that are not booked. The UFC's not talking about them, but there is a little bit stirring up between two fighters, and that's something that the UFC could potentially take into consideration at some point. So, well, there's 3 fights that I want to talk about. The first being Paddy Pimblett wants to fight Renato Moicano next, regardless of the outcome with UFC 300. I think this is great. I think it makes sense. Whether you like it or not, Paddy's on a win streak. They could give him Renato Moicano. I would like that personally. Ian Gary also claimed that he signed for Colby Covington. I would imagine this is a fight that the UFC wants to make, and I would imagine that I would imagine Ian Gary's telling the truth on this one. I know that it's a big meme to laugh at everything that Ian Gary does, but I can see the UFC actually wanting to push for this fight. It's a pretty big fight, and also Sean Strickland said that him and Costa have a fight in so many words, but the UFC has not announced anything at all. As for actual fight announcements, though, there has been a lot of great fights, and I'm going to roll through them right here. I have them written down, okay? Jillian Robertson versus Michelle Waterson-Gomez has officially been moved to UFC 303. Viviana Rujo versus Jasmine Jastovicius on July 13th. I actually like watching Jasmine Jastovicius fight. Andrei Arlovsky's back, taking on Martin Bidet on June 15th. Andre Muniz versus Ikram Aliskerov on June 15th. That is a banger. Piero Rodriguez back already versus Ariane Carlinosi on May 18th. Sumadarji versus Joshua Van on June 1st. I love watching Joshua Van fight. That's going to be a blast. Michelle Pereira stepping in for Makhmud Murdov, who pulled out against Ihor Peteria. That is another banger. I can't wait to see that, and that is going to be on May 4th. Muhammad Naimov versus Milisk Bastidarian on June 22nd. Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida, UFC 302. Cesar Almeida with a turnaround this fast. I think it's a little bit too much of a step up in competition right now for Cesar Almeida, but man, that's going to be fun. Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov on UFC 302. Alexander Volkanovski, Volkov, I meant to say, has pulled out of that fight. And finally, we have Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda on July 20th. We have some banger announcements this week. I cannot wait to watch Andre Muniz versus Ikram Aliskerov. I don't care, man. Like, I know Andre Muniz doesn't have the hype that he once had, but I really, really like watching him fight. Same with Joshua Van. Same with Muhammad Naimov. Michel Pereira versus Ihor Peteria is an absolute banger. And out of everything, I really want to see Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida has been bursting onto the scene. He is wasting absolutely no time. I love to see it. I just think that's a little bit too much, too quick for Cesar Almeida. But hey, I can't wait to see it. I'll be sitting down. I'll be watching that. Cesar Almeida has all the potential in the world. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, though, we have it every single weekend, so stay tuned for it. But for now, check out this tier list video on screen while we wait for UFC 300. Take care, everybody.